Have you ever stopped and wondered what makes a student exceptional? There is the obvious answer, an individual with a stellar GPA. But the true answer does not lie there. There is another factor that is greatly undervalued. And that is having the grit to learn. Without this factor, many students primarily focus on grades, only pursue what they think is best for their GPA, and suffer from poor mental health. We have created an environment where success is measured almost entirely through numbers, causing students to believe that their worth can be translated onto a report card. But it is vitally important that as current students that we don't fall into the same mindset, that in fact we should present it. To begin, the pressure surrounding grades changes the way students approach education. Instead of asking ourselves, what can we learn from this class? Students will often ask themselves, will this hurt my GPA? As a result, students avoid taking harder classes, they fear failure, and they choose the easy way out. They do this instead of challenging themselves academically. Learning has become less about curiosity and more about maintaining a number. According to an article published by Geraldine Nash, students have become more focused on grades and less on learning. This shows that students are experiencing lower motivation when it comes to being consumed by performance. They stop valuing the process of learning itself. Mistakes are now no longer viewed as opportunities to improve, but rather as evidence that they're falling behind. Secondly, more often than not, we place our focus on status and titles, but a student has who has pursued a rigorous academic course load does not hold more value than someone who is actively involved in their school's campus life. The qualities that define a person cannot be reflected through GPA, so a student who balances school and their personal life is equally built for success than a student who is primarily studying. According to an article by Larry Ferlazzo, to be a self-directed learner, students must be allowed to pursue their passions. Many students feel pressure to sacrifice experiences that help them grow personally because they're so focused on maintaining perfect grades. We have conditioned students to believe that achievement only matters when it could be measured academically. Lastly, this has also fostered a false belief that grades and worth are the same, going on the assumption that high grades mean high potential for success. But you might be wondering, that statement sounds reasonable, right? I mean, if you truly cared about school, your effort would reflect on your report card. But ultimately, what we fail to realize is that this expectation can have detrimental effects on a student's mental health, causing students to crave and chase validation, not because it matters, but because they've been told it does. According to an article from Haley Leggett, getting a bad grade can take a toll on your mental health. When students begin tying their self-worth to their academic identity, their performance and stress causes burnout, and it becomes inevitable. Students stop viewing mistakes as opportunities to grow. Instead, they begin to see them as proof that they are not good enough. Additionally, according to National Library of Medicine, they state that academic identity can play an important role in a student's commitment to school. which further emphasizes my point. If one's identity directly ties to achievement, the student's confidence can plummet when their grades do. So when we ask ourselves if these expectations actually benefit students, we overlook the stress and burnout we cause because it's easier to believe in the system than to admit it's faulty, further encouraging students to chase perfection, even when it comes at the expense of their mental health. In short, the grade-centered culture we have developed has discouraged genuine learning, causing students to hyperfixate on their grades, focus on their refocus their interest, and harms their mental health. So ultimately, the best way to combat this mentality is to stop measuring yourself against others and your GPA, and instead allowing yourself to make mistakes and understand your worth and your intelligence. Thank you.